Hi guys, sorry for the lack of video yesterday. I'm finally back at work, and I'm gonna try to record this as quickly as I can and get it uploaded to YouTube as quick as I can because I gotta be at work eventually. But yeah, on to 01 episode 9, and things are starting to pick up a bit with the quality again because I feel like the last couple of episodes, specifically episode 8. Kind of slid down a little bit, especially because of Fua in episode 8 being a dumbass. It's like, my opinion on him still hasn't changed on that, but let's actually just get into the episode itself. So, following on pretty much immediately from last episode, Fua is taken to the hospital and has to be treated immediately by the human gear doctors. Dr. Omigoto, I forget which. But, yeah, Yua obviously naturally has no objections to this because for the longest time she originally saw human gears as just mindless tools, but is now starting to get, like, a more broader perspective of them, which is good. You know, it is good to see her, her expectations broadening a little bit and actually giving human gears more of a chance. I mean, she hasn't been belligerent towards human gears, she's just always saw them as like a means to an end. Anyways, but because of the outbreak at the hospital with all those human gear doctors being turned into, treated by Magias, he then decides to have Satellite Zia shut down all, human gear doctors in that one specific hospital, despite the fact that they are heavily understaffed. Like, a majority of the, like, even with the human gear doctors, they're understaffed, so it's just a means for Hiden to try and cover up their asses, which, you know, is expected of a business company trying to, like, keep things in check, but they're doing so at the risk of other people's lives. Which is pretty much apparently the same thing that happened with Daybreak Town. Remember, Daybreak itself was all covered up, and now they're trying to do the same thing again with this one hospital. Yeah, it's going to show that he then obviously does not have the best intentions in mind, or at least the vice president doesn't, because he's still trying to use this as a means of getting Aruto out of the president's chair so he can take the chair himself. Calling it now, he's gonna become a villain. I don't know if they're gonna do the same thing as Drive did, where they were able to create human Roy Mute hybrids, but I could definitely see like the vice president guy, Jun Fukazoe, I think his name is. I think I could definitely see him becoming a bad guy because he just has all the staples of just corporate villain. Anyways, naturally, Aruto refuses because, there are lives at risk. It's like you don't hassle lives for a company. But again, he then, the vice president just lets him go with this because, if the whole thing fails, it'll come back to bite Aruto in the ass and thus make Fukazoe the vice president, the actual president of the company. But because of her change of perspective, Yua actually says if anything bad happens with the human gears reactivated, she will take responsibility. Which, I'm glad at this, because although she hasn't been belligerent or antagonistic in any way, she's never really shown any concern in regards to taking responsibility, so it's nice to see her. It's nice to see her changing from that, especially because in light of her partner being in the hospital now. And because of this, she also decides to give Izu the Mammoth Samurai key, which I knew they would still have, because otherwise, how would they build the G-Guards? So it's like the G-Guards are so obviously based on Mammoths. It's not even funny. But with this, Izu notices like the final design for what would become the Breaking Mammoth Progress Key looks very similar to the G-Guards, and in fact very similar to the main bulk of Satellite Zia. And yeah, I like to say I called this. Like, I totally called the giant Breaking Mammoth robot, because Breaking Mammoth is not really a form; it's a giant mech suit. I totally called Breaking Mammoth being being the bulk of the satellite, because like if you look at the preview images for the toys, it is so obviously like the bulk of Satellite Zia. So yeah, totally called that, and it kind of leads to, because I have this question as to whether like the idea of the company that created the G-Guard, who helped Ames create the G-Guards, Zaya, I think it's called, Z-A-I-A. I think it also it's also being operated by that guy who stays in the shadows and talks with Yua occasionally. So I'm starting to think if like the ultimate main villain by the end is gonna be yet another corporate bad guy who is copying what everyone else is doing but tries to make it better. It's like it kind of not too dissimilar to what Kronos did in Xaid. Yes, I know, same writer, but still. Anyways, and by the end of the episode, Izu also learns that Yua has been recording a lot of the fights, because in the news, because they originally say if the human gear has red eyes, it means they've been affected by mammoths.net, so stay away from them. But then they can see the footage of the Dodo Assassin Magia guy, where he transforms, but his eyes aren't red; they're blue. So it's like they change everything, and Izu actually looks back at her own memory files and finds Yua recording everything. So she was the one who got the footage, and Yua initially denies it, but I have a feeling they are going to hold her feet to the fire for this. Anyways, again, this leads to the debut of Breaking Mammoth. Breaking Mammoth, I think, looks cool, but I think it is a bit cumbersome, maybe because of the giant tusk sticking out of the body and the humongous progress keys just staying of the arms. But they can add kind of like knuckle dusters or shields, and he actually uses it as part of his Breaking Mammoth finisher, where he jumps into the air and actually rider kicks the giant progress key. And slams down on the G-Gar. So, yeah, it's still a pretty cool mech. It's definitely a lot more useful than the friggin' time machines from ZO. Why am I still ranting about ZO? That series is over. I'm done with it. Anyways, and then of course by the end, Fua is baffled that a human gear saved his life when obviously years ago. Like, he has two memories of what happened of his encounters with human gears now. One with human gears trying to kill him, and one where a human gear saved his life. He's still saying that he doesn't really forgive the human gears for what they did, though again, as I like to emphasize, it wasn't the human gears, it was Matsumo Genrai! Christ! Hirobi pointed this out last episode! Like literally last time he said, it's the will of the Ark, the giant satellite thing that's crashed in the water at Daybreak Town. I'm calling it now. Ark is probably going to be this massive artificial intelligence that sees humanity as a weakness and is thus recruited Hirobi to spread its will. I am calling it now. But again, Fua is ignoring the fact that Hirobi outright said it is not the human gears, but it's the will of the Ark, which is MetsumoGenrai.net. This guy is still being a belligerent imbecile because he's ignored blatant facts that was literally explained to him. Fua's getting on my nerves, is all I'm saying. I mean, I'm glad he's at least reconsidering his stance on human gears as a whole, because he does seem to be as hateful of human gears now that one saved his life. Double standard much there, Fua. But it's like, it's still a case where even when the facts are given to him, he's being an asshole about it. So, yeah, I enjoyed this episode. It's definitely a step up from the last one, where all my frustration, once again, came down to Fuwa being a dumbass. Oh yeah, he's still a dumbass at the end of this, but at least he's actually reconsidering his stance on things. Now, we're almost at the 10 episode mark. This is normally... Because I have this rule when it comes to television, when it comes to TV shows I'm watching. If I'm lost by the first 5 episodes, I'm dropping the show. But you know, if they keep me interested, I'll watch it until the 10th episode, which by that point, if my interest is lost again, I'll just drop the show entirely and never come back to it. I wish I'd done the same with CO, but again, dumb ranting about CO. Now. We're about to hit episode 10 with Zio. Next episode looks like it's going to be focused on a film shoot. And it might actually finally call Fuwa out as the dumbass he's being. So, we'll see what happens. But I have been enjoying this show so far. It has a lot of really cool elements to it that really goes to show that Yuya Takahashi is a really good writer and should probably stay on with Toei for a while because he has, like, a lot of the reason the show works so well is because of his writing and he has been showing a bit more self-awareness when it comes to, like, the genre conventions. So again, I'm just really enjoying the show, and I'm finally starting to really like Aruto now. Although, again, his jokes can get a bit annoying. But I think that's just part of the idea that his jokes are intentionally not funny. Anyways, I think that's it for today, guys. If you like what you saw, hit that like button, leave a comment down below, share on social media, be it Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, hell, even Instagram if you want. And, of course, subscribe if you like what you saw, and ring that bell for the notifications. You can follow me on Twitter. I'll have the link in the description down below. And I also have my blog spot in the link in the description down below. Oh, and I might also have the, because I just learned that there was kind of like an edit for, the insert theme, Find a New Life from, 401. It's the one that we thought for a while was the opening theme. And the edit is great, and if you read... Because the guy who uploaded the video also posted a comment basically with the lyrics as best as he can hear them. So I recommend really checking it out. Again, I'll probably have the link in the description below. If I forget, I'm sorry. But still, thanks for watching, guys. Until next time, I'm Callum Lewis, the Media Hood, signing off.